This will be a less controversial thing long term, but is this just a little, dance right now? Do you feel like something is already done between the Ticats and Manziel? They don't trade Zach Collaros if they're not unbelievably positive that they can get Johnny Manziel in to compete with Jeremiah Masoli for the job, right?
Well, no, I think they would have traded Collaros anyway because of the finances. He had a big bonus due, and he was not willing to renegotiate his contract with Hamilton, and he's the highest paid player in the league. And he'd lost 12 games in a row.
Those are good reasons.
Yeah, so I think he's gone. He was gone no matter what, and they were happy to give the job to Masoli. And if the Manziel thing doesn't happen for some reason, they'll bring in somebody else to compete with Masoli or a couple of guys. So I think those two things are separate. But in terms of Manziel, they've got him on the ever mysterious CFL negotiation list. In order to keep their rights to him for another year, all they have to do is offer him a contract. They could offer him, the minimum, and still keep him his rights for another year. So, whatever you're going to do with Manziel, you make the offer. But look, I fully expect him to be in camp in June. I fully expect him to be, unless he goes haywire or unless his intentions are different than what we've been led to believe they are. Sounds like he wants to play football, and right now this is the only place he can play football, unless that XFL thing happens before next year.
Now we know
I hope it doesn't.
He is quite capable of going haywire, but if that doesn't happen, why wouldn't his game translate to the Canadian Football League? Other than he hasn't played football in a while.
Well, it should translate, right? There were people in the NFL who thought his game would translate to the NFL. They were wrong because he didn't have the discipline and the temperament to and the maturity, to do that. And, who knows down the road, but the guy, look where he was drafted in the NFL. He's a big talent. There's no question about that. And aspects of what he does would translate, you would think, very well to the way the game is played here. And I know a bunch of people are going to say, but what about this guy? What about that guy? And there is a long history of highly touted players, some of them NFL players who came up here and did not succeed. But there's also there's that guy Flutie who came up here and did pretty well. So I think if he's got his head screwed on right and he wants to, if he wants to learn or he wants to be part of a team or he wants to compete, I think he's got a really good chance. He could be tremendous up here.